Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. Watches and Wonders is right around the corner. It's going to start on March 30th and run through April 5th. And there are already some watch companies who are releasing watches slowly but surely. And so I wanted to actually talk about a watch that Longines recently released, which I think is for me is demonstrating what Longines is really capable of doing. Some of the pieces that they've been able to release have really shown the depth of the brand, and I think this is a really great example. The watch I'm going to be covering is the Spirit Zulu Time. It is a watch that has a really incredible complication, which is a GMT complication, and is at an extremely affordable price for this complication that you're going to be getting. And so I'm going to give you some information about the watch, information about a GMT complication, and why I really love this piece. If you are looking for a video where someone has this watch and is able to show you the piece in the metal, this isn't the video for you, but I'll be sure to put up a lot of videos and pictures so you can follow along and see the watch while I talk through it. So hope you stick around for that, but I'm going to say it at the top of the video so you are aware. This watch is part of a really interesting sort of line of watches that Longines debuted, which is the Zulu Time. It's a sort of a sub-collection of 6 watches that are within the Spirit family, and have this very cool sort of sports watch aesthetic, but also has sort of like a vintage vibe to it. It uses darker colors with almost like a faux patina color on a lot of their pieces, and they released that about 6 months ago. Kind of went unnoticed, if I'm completely honest. I didn't really notice it back when it was released, but they released with sort of Watches and Wonders coming around very soon. They decided to release one of their pieces, and this is a GMT a GMT complication that they are now sporting part of this Zulu Time watch. If you look at the watch itself, it has it's a very typical, very sports watch inspired piece. It's a stainless steel 42 millimeter case with a couple of dial variations. You can get a matte black version, an anthracite gray, or a sun ray blue dial. When you look at the watch itself, you have these beautiful applied hour numbers that circulate around the watch. You have Zulu Time and chronometer printed just above 6 o'clock, showing that this movement is chronometer certified. You then have a date at 6 o'clock, replacing where the 6 hour indice is located. And then you have an applied Longines logo. You have these sort of gold tone or faux patina tone hands. You've got an hours, minutes, and seconds hand, and then you have a third hand, which is your GMT complication hand. If you don't know, a GMT complication is essentially a way that you can tell the time in a second time zone. So you'll use the bezel of the watch to indicate what time zone you want to be in. The bezel is obviously a 24-hour display as opposed to the 12 hours that are on the dial of the watch, and that second hand basically tells you what time zone it is in another place. So let's say it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon in New York and you want to know the time in Geneva. The GMT hand would essentially be pointing to, I'll say 4 o'clock p.m. It'll essentially be pointing to the 22 o'clock on the GMT bezel. What's really cool about this watch is it comes on a leather strap and a bracelet, so you have the choice there. There's a price difference, I think a minimal price difference between those two things, and has a really nice brushed case. I think it actually goes nicely with the general aesthetics of the actual watch itself. It has a sort of darker tone to it, which I think is really nice. If you look at the version with the anthracite dial, you've got this sort of black and looks like light or sort of like darker white GMT hand. If you look at the one with the black dial, you actually have a blue part of that GMT arrow, and then the blue dial version has an orange piece to that arrow. If we look at the movement, I've sort of discussed the complications that you get with this movement. It's the L844.4, which is based on an ETA A31.411 movement. You got the hours, minutes, seconds, date, and your second time zone. There, 72 hours of power reserve, and it is COSC certified, which is a great certification to have in such a great watch. You have a silicon balance spring as well, which is a feature that you find in some other watches, but it's great that they're using it in this. What's really nice, one of the things I actually really like about it is there's no crown guards on the crown itself. I think that might have created a little bit more space made it a little bit too chunky. And I think this keeps it nice and simple for the piece itself. So to move into price for this piece, on a leather strap you're looking at $22,950 US. On a bracelet you're looking at $100 more. To get a GMT complication at this price point from a brand of this heritage is really incredible. You're getting a COSC certified movement, you're getting silicon balance wheel, you're getting a beautiful GMT complication, a watch that's aesthetically pretty pleasing and will, at 42 millimeters fit most wrists. So you're getting a really great piece for a fairly affordable price. One of the other things that you also have to remember is Longines was heavily involved with the history of aviation, and so coming out with a GMT complication for this price point and that looks so beautiful really hits back to sort of the heritage of the brand, but doesn't deviate too much from sort of the modern lines of watches. It's not them just taking something from the past and creating something new. Creating a newer version of it. They're kind of iterating off of some of their historical pieces. I believe there was a watch that was released in the 1920s that had a similar name and a similar complication. However, I do think this is a newer version that kind of pushes the brand forward and says this is something that we're creating, and in my opinion opens up the door to a lot of people who may be interested in something like this. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. I think that's a given here. I think Longines presents a lot of value for you in watches if you are interested in getting into it. Great heritage, interesting pieces that they're coming out with, and a lot of variations, which allows you to sort of explore your tastes a little bit more. So a great release from Longines, and just such a cool way to kick off the season, or I'll say kick off 2022 with a pretty interesting release. Let me know what you think in the comment section below of this piece. It's a really cool, interesting piece. Spirit Zulu Time. I think it's going to be a hit with a lot of people who are interested in Longines and GMT complicated pieces. You can check out our article on our website where we cover this piece as well. We'll have some links there to the watch as well if you're interested in taking a look. It is available as right now online, so you can, if you are interested in purchasing this piece, be sure to head over to Longines to take a look at it. If you are new to Life on the Wrist, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you like these types of videos. We cover everything from modern releases to vintage and do everything in between when it comes to watches. So if you are interested, subscribe to the channel. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button for us for the YouTube, it really does help us out with our YouTube analytics. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time.